All right, so a little bit more on homework 16. What is the probability of not rolling a sum of 11 with two fair die? Okay, so first things first, recognize what a fair die is if you haven't seen it before. Fair die is a cube, and then on each side we have 2, 5, 7. This one's going to be 4. So this is your fair die. Do recognize with a fair die, you can roll 1 through 6 for each fair die. So let's go ahead and get started. The probability of not rolling a sum of 11 with two fair die. So let's not so much concentrate on this not part. Let's go ahead and find the probability of rolling a sum of 11 with two fair die. And then we'll take it a step further and incorporate that not feature. So what is the probability of rolling a sum of 11 with two die or dice? One dice, two die? Not sure. Okay. So, I mean, how can you get the sum of 11? So recognize we would need to roll a 1, and we would need to roll a 10. Well, there's no 10 on a fair die, so can't do it. 2, 9, 3, 8. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 6. So 7, 4, 8. Well, you can't do 7. Okay, so here's a list of numbers that sum to 11. Recognize we can't roll a 9 with a fair die, can't roll an 8 with a fair die, can't roll a 7 with a fair die. You can only roll the numbers 1 through 6. We could roll a 5 and a 6. We could roll a 6 and a 5. 7 and 4. Yet again, we can't roll a 7 with a fair die. So, and that's coming from on a fair die, you only can roll the numbers 1 through 6 inclusive. So it looks like we have two ways of rolling a sum of 11. So sum of 11, there's two ways. So there's two ways to roll a sum of 11. And now consider what our probability equation looks like. It's what you want divided by total possibilities. Who knows if that's spelled right? So what you want divided by the total number of possibilities. So what we want is to roll the sum of 11. So there's two ways to do that. Total possibilities. So to figure out the total possible outcomes when we're rolling some die, well, recognize, and this is a strategy that we'll see when we get to our counting methods. So this first die, how many possibilities does it have when you roll it? So you roll a die and it could be 1 through 6. So this gives you 6 possibilities. Similarly, this other die also has 6 possibilities. So you're rolling two fair die. Each die has a total of 6 possibilities. So to answer the question, how many total possible outcomes are there when you roll these two fair die? Well, recognize this die has 6 options, 6 possible outcomes. The second die has 6 possible outcomes. So the total possible outcomes is not 12. It's not 12. And here's why it's not 12. It's 36. Say the first die is a 1. Well, recognize your second die could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Your first die could be a 2. Your second die could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, I mean, look how many cases we've already done. We've done, first die is a 1. Your second die could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 possible outcomes here. We have 6 possible outcomes here. The 6 meaning 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6 for the 6 outcomes. It could be a 2, 1, a 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6. So right here I've already listed 12 possible outcomes, and as you might anticipate, the first die could be a 3, your second die could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So continuing this pattern forth, we see we have 36 possible outcomes, or 36 total possibilities when we roll the 2 die. So back to this question at hand. What is the probability of rolling a sum of 11 with 2 fair die? Well, recognize there's 2 ways to do what we want with 36 possible outcomes. So there's the probability of rolling a sum of 11 with 2 fair die is 2 out of 36. Now, recognize the question asks, what is the probability of not rolling a sum of 11? Well, if there's 2 out of 36 ways to roll a sum of 11, that would mean there's 34 out of 36 ways to not roll a sum of 11, right? 2 out of 36 to do it, which means 34 out of 36 to not do it. Recognize these 2 pieces. 2 out of 36 plus 34 over 36 would sum to the number 1. 2 plus 34 is 36. 36 divided by 36 is 1. So that's how you want to handle these not scenarios. Essentially, ignore the not portion, construct the probability for it, and then recognize to pin down the not aspect of the question is to look at the complementary piece. So this is what we want. 34 out of 36. Type an integer or a simplified fraction. So we need to simplify 34 over 36. Well, they're both divisible by 2. 15, 17, so that'd be 2 times 17 over 3, 15, 18, 2 by 18. 2 downstairs, 2 upstairs gives me 17 over 18. 17 is prime, so that does not reduce. So 17 out of 18, or 17 over 18. Moment of truth. Hey, we got it. All right. See, let's jump to number 12, it looks like. Suppose that an urn contains 5 black marbles, 9 white marbles, and 6 yellow marbles. If one marble is selected, determine the probability that it is white. So I'm not going to use the old Sharpie for this one. I'll just explain it to you. So keep in mind your probability equation, what you want divided by total possible outcomes. So what you want in this instance is a white marble. So recognize there's 9 white marbles. So 9 is going to be in the numerator of your probability, which begs the question, what's in the denominator? Well, the denominator is the total number of possibilities. So it could be black, it could be white, or it could be yellow. So the total possible outcomes would be the 5 plus 9 plus 6. So that'd be 20. 5 and 6 give you 11, plus 9 more gives you 20. So the probability that the marble is white would be 9 out of 20. And we're told an integer or a simplified fraction, 9 is only divisible by 3, 20 is not divisible by 3. Moment of truth. All right. And I believe, yes, that finishes up homework 16 on the probability. Thanks for your attention. I'll see you on the next one.